Louise,
Not me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn my camera off if my children go past because it's going to be on YouTube. Is that all right?
Yeah. I've still got your name. Oh, I haven't, Hannah. You disappeared. Have we got everyone in, Louise?
Yes, everybody that's waiting. Yes, so if you want to start.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Town and Port of Faversham annual town meeting. I'd like first, could we just spend a moment or two to remember all those that we have lost, our loved ones, and particularly our own Faversham community loved ones who we miss dearly. Thank you. We could start the agenda with item 1, which is apologies for absence.
I've not received any apologies from anybody.
Great, thank you. Item 2, the annual meeting of the town for 2020 was cancelled, and I think we all know why. Exactly a year ago yesterday, my sister was here for International Women's Day, and she had to leave very early, get back to London for the first COVID meeting. And as she left, she just said, brace yourselves. We didn't know what she meant, but certainly a year on, we do know. So it's great to be able to have this meeting this year. And so we need to look at the minutes for 2019. I truly don't know where last year, well, it just seems so long, so long. I don't know if everyone's got a copy of the minutes, but I've been looking, as I say, it's very vague in my memory. I'd only been mayor for 1 week and still shell-shocked. And obviously all the councillors were new as well, or most of the councillors were new as well. And we'd only been on board for a week. So I think we've come a long way in this 2 years, or nearly 2 years. Public questions. A question was raised regarding a neighbourhood plan, as Faversham was vulnerable to development. Well, we for sure know since 2019 that definitely is happening. I think that's about it, unless anyone else has got anything they'd like to bring up with the minutes. So can we accept those minutes, Town Clerk? Do I need a proposer?
Proposer and seconder, please.
Yeah.
I'm happy to propose that we accept the minutes.
Thank you, Councillor Perkin.
I'm happy to second that.
Thank you, Councillor Martin. Can we all vote on those? Thank you. Very vague in our memories. And item 3, presentation from community groups who have received grants in 2019/20. And Town Clerk, I think you will call in.
Yes, we're going to start with Mary from the Mission Brass. You can give your full titles.
Thank you.
Hi, it's actually it's me that's going to start. So the other half. So I'm James. Some people call me James. Some people call me Jim. I'm the chairman of the brass band, and I just really wanted to thank you all for your support, and particularly for the town council for awarding the band some funding from its community grants towards the purchase of warm and waterproof overcoats, of which you can see one hanging up behind us.
Yeah.
Over many years, we have got seriously wet in many different places and then seriously cold in a few others. So it's really nice to have these overcoats with the logo for the band's winter engagements. The coats were received in time for the band to wear for the switching on of the Christmas lights in 2019. That's an event which the band has been pleased to perform at since the lights started in 1983.
Wow.
The coats were also worn for the carols on the market that year. Unfortunately, of course, to the pandemic, neither of those events happened last year. And of course, we are desperately waiting to wear these coats again. Although we'd much rather play in the sunshine, it's nice to have those coats to put on and keep us warm. The band has played for every single community carol singing event in the marketplace and the Good Friday processions of witness, all of which are done without charge, obviously to the people of Faversham. The band is extremely grateful to the Town Council for awarding this funding, and it will enable the band to play in comfort whilst still looking smart. When you're sitting in a chair and sometimes your jacket rides up and all of a sudden you've got a cold and wet backside, it's not nice when you're playing the tuba, let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh.
Through its regular concerts at the Alexander Centre, the band has raised in excess of £20,000 in over recent years for various local charities and organisations, including British Legion, Cancer Research, Pinvola, Cardiac Risk in the Young, the Royal Air Force Association, Faversham Christmas Lights, FACE, Shane Alderman Trust, Happy Endings. There's quite a list really, which I will not go through all of them, but we've enjoyed our concerts and playing for them and helping them to achieve some of their fundraising targets. Mary?
I'm Mary and I'm the secretary of the band. The band just takes 10% of the profit from these concerts towards its expenses. So our own income relies on our performances on bandstands, festivals, fetes and carolling or donations. In 2019, the band performed 25 engagements, which averages at about 2 a month, although Christmas is usually our busiest time, and that year we had 10 engagements in December alone. And this income pays for our membership to Brass Bands England, our insurance costs, repairs and replacement of instruments and new music. And we also like to give a donation to the Gospel Mission for letting us use the premises for rehearsing, and to our bandmaster for use of his van. And I worked out that if we had to purchase all of the music from just one of our concerts, which is about 14 pieces of music, it works out at £493.30. So that's about £35 for a set of music, and that's just for one concert. So once again, a very big thank you to Faversham Town Council for awarding us this grant, and we're looking forward to being able to perform again once restrictions have eased and we are permitted to play. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary and James, and we can't wait to hear you. As much as you want to come back and play for us, we desperately want to hear you out there. Thank you.
So Becky from Faversham Umbrella.
Hello, I'm Becky Duffy, the current centre manager for Faversham Umbrella. And in the period that we were talking about, 2019 to 2020, that was a very good year for Faversham Umbrella, and very different than the year we've just had. Like most of us, things changed dramatically. Let's talk about pre-COVID, and then we can really discuss what we've done in the last year. So our mission is to support the most vulnerable people within the community, and our doors are open for anyone to come in and join us. We were holding daily activities free of charge, ranging from yoga, bingo, knitting and art, and our cafe was open daily for people to come and get home cooked cakes and meals, which were very, very yummy, and we miss very, very much. Our workshop that was located is located in the basement was always busy. We had a couple of guys that came in whenever we were open that were down there, was working down there. They made our boxes that are on the front of the building, which the flowers are in. They make bird boxes, fairy houses and things that we can sell and raise funds. Throughout the period, the number of people that were coming through the doors was encouraging, and our average monthly figures show that we were supporting about 80 clients regularly, with 270 people on average coming through the door per month over the 3-day period that we were open. These figures do include multiple visits from some people rather than each individual, but they definitely showed the need for the service that we were providing. The thing that we were most interested be able to open again, obviously, and none of this would have been possible without the grants and donations that we received, one of which was from the Faversham Town Council. Throughout the period, we received £7,500, which doesn't sound very glamorous, but went towards our building assessments and works that we needed doing. So that paid for our regular fire assessments, gas checks, and the remedy work that we needed to do. The building had been closed for a long period of time before we reopened. So when we had our fire assessment done, we did need a bit of remedy work doing on the fire doors and a new door rehanging. So, you know, it paid for vital work that needed doing in order to make sure that our building was secure and safe and maintained to the standards it should be for everybody that was coming in. As I mentioned, the last year that we've had, the last 12 months, has been very, very different, as I'm sure everybody else's has. We've managed to still continue to support all of the visitors that used to come in. We've been doing regular phone calls and sending out fortnightly craft packs to everybody. And we did coffee mornings when we were able for the periods that we could open briefly last year, and we can't wait to open again. Again, Faversham Umbrella would like to thank the Faversham Town Council for all of their support, both for the funding that you give us and the general support and encouragement that you give Faversham Umbrella, and enable us to carry on with the work that we do. We can't wait to open up again and get going and have the doors open again and the activities going and everything, which would be lovely, but you know, let's see when that will be. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you. I used to pop in quite regularly, you will remember, and there was always such a great environment in there, and they all seemed to be busy doing activities, and I do hope you can open up fairly soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move on to Georgina of Faith.
Hello. Yeah, I'm here. Hi. So I'm Georgina. I'm the current project manager at Faith. Faith is here to support the financially challenged, elderly and disabled people that to help them stay in their own homes for longer. We've been operating for over 30 years, so supporting many people across the Faversham and Sittingbourne areas. We offer the practical services of garden maintenance and decorating in their own homes, for which they cannot afford a professional. So these services that we offer, we do those on a donation only basis. So some of our clients have been with us for many years. We've got new clients that are referred to us generally through word of mouth, but we do also get them signposted from local housing associations and other organisations. Many of the clients used to take pride in their garden and home, but for physical or mental reasons, they're no longer able to carry out these tasks. So it's often allowing their gardens to become overgrown and they can become a nuisance for neighbours. So Faith is able to help them with this, and we carry out the tasks that say they're no longer able to complete, and it takes the strain off of them, and you know, it helps them maintain their garden and homes and prevents them from having to move elsewhere. So it allows them to stay in the environment that they feel safe. So during the year, we completed 875 gardens and decorated a total of 50 rooms. So our workforce did change during 2019. I myself started as the project manager in June, and I took over the role from Becky, who is at present one of the trustees. Good news, we increased our volunteer base, and we had 2 new volunteers start as we moved into the decorating season, and they proved to be a great addition to help in the Faversham area. So Faith has had a positive year in 2019-2020. We remained in our office space, which is based at Faversham Umbrella, and the partnership that we formed continued to grow, along with the signposting across both charities. We have people visiting to our office, be clients or prospective clients, and they can enjoy the cafe whilst we sit down and talk about the services that Faith can offer them. The end of the year, as we've already discussed, didn't quite end as we expected with COVID-19. But despite that, we were able to continue to support our clients, although it was with extra precautions obviously in place, just to help ensure the safety of both our clients and our lads. But unfortunately, one of the precautions implemented was to stand down the volunteers until further notice. And as yet, they are yet to come back on board. FACE received wonderful support from Faversham Town Council over the past year, received a grant of £3,000, which we were very thankful for. And that was spent on supporting the office in Faversham with the rent, insurance, telephone and office supplies costs. So with the above support, along with other grants and donations that we've received, we've managed to support 136 clients across the Faversham and the Sittingbourne area. So I'd just like to say thank you again for all your help and support, not just financial, but any advice and contacts and things like that we speak about. So just hope that the year ahead can be just like that year again. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgina. I'm not sure how long FACE has been going, how many years. I'm not quite sure when it was established, but I think Chris Esgate, I remember him talking to me about it. So it is quite some time ago. And I know it's been a continued valuable service to this community. So hopefully you can be back out there doing more next year. Thank you.
I hope so.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll move on to Satida, and we have Lucy and Donna here, I believe.
Yes, good evening. Firstly, apologies, my internet decided to go down 10 minutes before, so I'm on my phone, so I do apologise. So I'm service manager for Satida, and I'm joined by Donna Hearn, who is our senior support worker. We received funding for a dedicated Faversham support worker. We recognised the need in that area. We have supported 69 women, all from the Faversham area, which is actually a really, really good amount. It's great to know that we got out there really soon, as soon as we received the funding, we got out there and we started making contacts. We already were known in the area, but it's allowed us, as I say, to have that dedicated person there. Now, obviously, with everyone else, we had COVID hit. What we had to do in that time is we all worked from home. So we have actually been working from home since March last year. So whilst we don't have that kind of face-to-face contact, we haven't been able to, apart from that tiny period in between where we opened up again, we have been able to continue the invaluable work that that the team do, which is really good to know. Pre-COVID, we had 2 community spaces that we used for drop-ins. One was the Faversham Community Centre, and one is the Physic Gardens, which I'd never heard of before. We went out, myself and the support worker and the business development manager went out to visit, and it's a beautiful place. I mean, the grounds, the work that they do, we were really pleased to make that connection. We were given our own hut, for want of a better word, so we could have the drop-in there. And it's a great space as well, because you could quite easily just be going to have a cup of tea. So in terms of being able to get away and have that contact with a professional, it was a perfect place to do that. As I say, unfortunately, they shut with COVID. We were allowed, or we continued with the community centre with booked appointments. However, obviously they petered off with the pandemic. People just weren't getting out. Within the time frame that we were open, we had 8 women access the drop-ins, which again is actually, although it sounds like a small amount, for us, that's a really successful amount of women that have actually taken the time to get out, find out where we are, recognise that they need to talk to someone. So for us, that's a really positive amount. We have with both the drop-ins, we've had confirmation that they're up and running again week commencing the 12th of April, which is fantastic news. Team can't wait to get out and about again, and obviously these will be shared on our social media sites to promote the reopening, so that women know that they can get out and about again, which is really, you know, great for us. We, in terms of outcomes, we measure those once the clients are closed, and there's a raft of different ways that we measure those. Some of those include measuring the cessation of abuse, whether it's ceased, reduced or escalated, whether there's reduction in risk levels, what the risk and the safeguarding to any children are that are within that family unit, whether them being frightened at intake has gone down since working with us, whether their quality of life has improved, and we kind of measure it by a lot, little or no change. So we really do measure those outcomes very closely, and I do reports on that, which are very interesting to look at, and all of them, I have to say, very positive in terms of feeling less isolated, less at risk. Cessation of abuse has reduced, certainly, so that's really good for us as an organisation. In terms of kind of numbers and the impact that the pandemic has had, we saw a 140% increase for July 2020 to that time the year before, and what that really illustrated for us is the fact that obviously in the full lockdown, women just weren't able to access our services, whether they were still living with that alleged perpetrator. You know, it was really difficult. So whilst in March the support team were slightly less busy, certainly when those restrictions started to be lifted, we just saw a massive shift, to the point where we also managed to secure some extra COVID funding to offer extra hours to the team, because there was such an increase. So that was really interesting for us as well, and the work we do. Like I say, we've remained working throughout. We very successfully moved the whole organisation to home working. I think it was the 17th of March, which gave us, you know, those couple of days to kind of get up and running. It's all very new for us. But we've continued to work. It is working. We are still helping those people, which again is testimony to the staff, certainly, that work on the front line. They've been incredible throughout this. We have also managed to get our groups provision up and running again online, which we were actually one of the first organisations that were able to do that. So we offer things like the Freedom Programme on Zoom. We also offer one-to-one sessions, and we also offer the chance for women to access this on their own, and they can kind of work through it on their own online. We've had 6 clients specifically from the Faversham area access those programmes as well, which again is phenomenal for us. We're really proud. We've had 5 access counselling from Faversham as well. So, you know, to round up, I have to say thank you so much for your grant. I've only been with the organisation since November 2019. What was very clear to me was the passion that the organisation has as a whole for the work that they do, and they do an incredible job. And without your funding, we wouldn't have been able to do that. So seriously, you know, we do thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, have I got Donna or Lucy? Was that Lucy?
Yeah, Donna, I just invited along. I thought it was really important for her to be here. She's not going to say anything, but obviously as a frontline worker, I really wanted her to be here as well.
Well, thank you. And you mentioned the Visit Garden. I was there this morning. I saw the hut that you are now allocated, which was fantastic. They've done a fantastic amount of work recently. It's looking quite different. It's a lovely place. But what I really liked as well was the children's play area. Oh. So Mum's going, they've really created a lovely space, haven't they, there for you?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's really... certainly when I went to have a look at it, it automatically, as soon as you go in, it has that kind of really calming
Yes.
effect.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. And mum can then have, like you say, with the children's area, mum can have that space and that time without fear of the children listening in and, you know, hearing things that they don't need to hear.
They're too busy
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're busy playing, aren't they? Which is lovely. No,
Yeah.
and I think you'll notice the difference there. Right. So thank you.
Thank you.
Town Clerk, have we have anyone else?
No, that's it now.
That's it. Well, I just, yeah, so pleased that we've been able to fund all these services, and of course we hope you're all up and running this year. And really, yeah, that's our hope, is that things improve step by step, and you can do what you're passionate about doing, really. So thank you. Right, presentation of groups. Right, the Mayor's overview of the year and the highlights. Oh dear, that's quite a hard one, isn't it? So very quickly I'll run through. COVID-19 and beyond. This has been outstanding. The volunteering that we've had, to name a few, again, the list is unbelievably long. It seemed the whole community, to me, got on board in so many ways. Mutual aid, Faversham Darts League, the befriending that the town council set up. I've still got an 88-year-old and an 89-year-old that I befriend, and the only thing they need me to do is get their cash from the bank, because they have carers go in and out that they pay to get shopping. So that was a fantastic scheme. I know there's lots of befrienders still doing and working. Our Faversham Food Bank, West Faversham, Age UK, CAS. It's just been phenomenal what everybody's pulled together during this pandemic, and it's been outstanding. I think that's what I need to say. Publishment District Community Lottery, again our latest venture as a town council. Councillor Julian Saunders brought this suggestion to us, and we thought about it, and to help the local community recover from the pandemic. So needed. We ran focus groups with good causes last summer and established that help with fundraising was the most important need. A community lottery is most likely to engage a wide number of local residents, and it involves no risk for the town council, because we can work with a specialist lottery, Gatherwell, who take on all the risks. So, and it is actually doing very well. I think we've had over 40 sign up, and something near £18,000 worth of tickets have been bought. The local causes will receive, well, it will be 60%, 50% as a whole, and then 10% at the end of the year. And 20% of the funding goes on prizes. So, and we've had prizes donated, so that's really good. I think the lottery has got off to a good start. The concern, I think, for some people was the gambling issue, but compared with National Lottery, community lottery players tend to be less likely to buy tickets on impulse, more motivated by supporting good causes. Community lotteries are classed as low risk by the Gambling Commission. More money goes back to good causes. You can't get instant wins, you can't buy tickets on the day, and you can't spend more than £20 a week on playing. So hopefully people feel a bit more reassured if they've got worries about the gambling. And then we can move to our youth. Well, something I'm really passionate about. I think they've done incredibly well so far through this pandemic. So anything we can do, anything. We did manage to get the Mike Night that year, and we did run the Youth Cafe, which was very popular. Unfortunately, the silent disco didn't happen, and all us councillors were hoping to go along to the adult event at the end. But next year. And of course, we'd hope to do more, maybe some fun sessions during their school holiday this summer. And again, Dan Cochrane with the Bus 72 project, and Paul Creed and West Faversham. It's looking like more things will be happening for our youth over the next year. And I'm particularly, with Brooke, focused on maybe trying to get a portable skate park at some point during the summer, so we can come along and see how that works. We hear there's a very successful one in Whitstable, so we're trying to get information from them, because I don't know if you've noticed, but most young people have a skateboard under their arm, or a scooter, or roller boots, and they actually, yes, I think need something to have some fun with and celebrate, hopefully coming out of the pandemic. Thank you. And Neighbourhood Plan. Oh, as you heard in those minutes, it was seen that it might come on. Well, it certainly has. I can only say the lead councillors, John Irwin and Chris Barker, supported by the steering group and community specialist volunteers and Deputy Town Clerk, Adrienne Bergen, have done an incredible amount of work and shown such expertise. This is such an important document for the future of Faversham. I can only tell you the team have all the skills needed and will achieve the very best possible outcome for Faversham. We must not underestimate the need of this document. A young man, 14-year-old Sam, has designed the logo. We try and include our youth on as many projects as we can. And the newspaper has been very supportive, for which we are grateful, thanks to Brian Payne. I believe more information can be found in the next edition, so keep a lookout for the paper. And then we have climate and emergency. The Town Council are committed to make a difference, and Councillor Chris Williams and Hannah Perkin are leading on this subject, fully focused on the way forward. 1,000 trees were given away, so successful, planted this year, working with the many groups of volunteers, and my goodness, is Faversham so rich in volunteers. They were out planting bulbs, rewilding projects, also working closely with Plastic Free Faversham and looking to establish pesticide free Faversham in the future. And then we've got Creek Bridge, the Creek Bridge. I attended the AGM. Well, there's recently such a passionate committee led by Sue Akhurst. They have such a vision of what can happen in the Creek Basin if and when the swing bridge is installed. Meetings are ongoing, plans are being drawn, and KCC are hoping to have some sort of commitment from Peel Ports in the near future. The next meeting, March the 26th. I feel that committee is filled with fresh optimism, and we need to watch this space, and hopefully that can evolve. Right, have we got any questions from the floor for discussion? Open discussion now. Town Clerk, have you got anyone coming in?
No, I can't see anybody. Nobody's put anything in the chat, or can't see any. Oh, Councillor Perkin is raising her hand.
Thank you. I can't see that for some reason.
I was kind of tentatively raising my hand.
Yeah,
right. I just wanted to thank the people that have come to do presentations, because it's obvious that you're doing amazing things within the community and looking after some of our most vulnerable people. And I just can't really thank you all enough for the work that you do. It's really amazing. That's all I wanted to say. I didn't have a question.
Thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Thomas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting you all face to face. I did enjoy the first annual town meeting that I attended, and it's good to go around and see you. And I believe that was in the assembly rooms a couple of years ago.
It was.
So fingers crossed we'll be able to meet again in next year, in 2022, for the next annual town meeting. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? No. Just to say, I think they are doing an incredible service for Faversham. They really are. Right, so our next item, the Mayor will present the KALC Community Award. I do remember doing that 2 years ago, but clearly we didn't do that last year. Well, we have asked along 2 people that we felt both deserved this award. One is Steve Sherlock. Steve has been involved with the Faversham Lights since 1983, chairman from 1985, when Ken Neame, the founder, became mayor. He was also involved with Kent East Girl Guiding and helped maintain the grounds at the Maystole campsite in Chartham for 5 years, from 2001 to 2005. The 6 weeks erecting of the Christmas lights takes place on Sundays before the switch on at the end of November, a very well planned, popular event. Dismantling takes 3 weeks during January. Not this year though. They are still up at the moment, coming down soon, I know. But due to COVID, yeah, not this year. Then follows the dismantling, cleaning, packing for storage, which all takes time. Then immediately follows fundraising, organised events, barn dances, raffles, looking for sponsors, and all year round huge commitment to raise the funds. Thank you, Steve. Please pass on our thanks to your team of volunteers. We were especially grateful this year as we feared no lights would be possible, but those that you were able to put up really cheered up the town at a really difficult time. So thank them. And secondly, we have Sue Sherlock. Sue became involved with guides when her daughter became a brownie in 1988. She was Faversham Division Treasurer, then took over a divisional commissioner for 5 years. Sue then went on the Kent East County Commissioner in 1999. Over the centenary year, which was 2000 to 2001, she organised a large service at Canterbury Cathedral where the Kent East Guiding Choir sang, which Sue helped to get started. The service was recorded and the DVD is still used by Girl Guiding headquarters to demonstrate good PR. In more recent years, from 2014 to 2019, Sue has been chairman of the County Trefoil Guild. So you can see we had 2 people at the top of our list from the same family. So unable to decide, we have decided to award jointly the KALC Award for 2021 to Sue and Steve Sherlock. That's never been done before. Hopefully they're there listening. The certificate is still with the High Sheriff for signing, and I hope we can arrange a presentation outside or inside the Guildhall very soon. So thank you both for your commitment in very different areas of our community. I think if we can give a clap, but obviously very different. I'm sorry we can't have refreshments and a presentation as usual, but I will just tell you all, the town clerk advised me to contact Sue and Steve's daughter, so I did. We didn't know whether the certificate you would want Stephen and Susan, your full names. Your daughter immediately came back and said, Alison, we only ever call them Stephen and Sue when they're in trouble.
That's right.
So we have decided to put Sue and Steve on your certificate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alison, for that award, and thank you for anyone who nominated and voted for us. Yes, as you say, I'm only known as Stephen if either I'm in trouble or I owe someone money. That's the thing. Yeah. But
you're very clear. Yes.
Yeah, but I think I can speak for Susan that we've both enjoyed serving our local community over the years. We've got a lot of enjoyment from it, and obviously this past 12 months has been exceptionally difficult and certainly different from anything we've ever known before. So thank you very much indeed for everything.
Thank you. We will contact you as soon as this certificate is here.
Yes, thank you. You mentioned the lights are not down yet, but as the town clerk has been informed, they will be coming down on the 11th of April, hopefully, unless any of the COVID regulations change, of course. So
thank you so much.
Put them back up again in October.
Yes, that time will go very quickly, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right.
But do thank your whole team. We really appreciated having those lights this year, particularly. It really brightened up the town.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, you're welcome. My final message: I could never have imagined what an absolute privilege it would be to be Mayor of Faversham, our fantastic, unique community. Your councillors and council staff have played a very professional role, along with the huge number of volunteers supporting us all during the pandemic. 1 year ago, my sister was speaker at International Women's Day. When she left to return to London, she said her last words were, "Brace yourself." She was going to the first COVID meeting at number 10. We didn't know. How could we know? We had no idea. But together, we have become a kinder, caring community, appreciating the walks and green space areas on our doorstep, discovered local areas with real appreciation of the simple things. I honestly could not have imagined spending a year of the pandemic anywhere other than our wonderful town. So thank you to everyone who's attended tonight, especially those that have brought reports to us. And I just hope that we will soon be allowed to have face-to-face meetings. But we've done very well with Zoom, and let's hope that's coming in very soon. So good night, and thank you to everyone for attending the meeting.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. Optimistic going forward. Thank you.